But right now, Nicola Roberts is in the kitchen with us.
I am.
Looking forward to it?
Yes.
I think. That was a tentative yes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make a roasted red pepper and spinach cannelloni. So we've got fresh pasta, peppers that we've roasted and skinned. So basically, you roast them over either over an open flame or in a really hot oven.
They look lovely, actually.
They do.
And then
it's quite hard to do this successfully.
Do you know, it's dead easy. I think you have to roast them for longer than you think.
Right.
Because if you don't roast them for long enough, then basically what you're looking for is this to happen, so that the
I
skin
end up
peels
with
off.
hardly any pepper.
Roast them for longer.
OK.
Roast them for longer. Remember when you discovered the joy of caramelising onions, Lou?
Oh, well, I'm perfectly amazing
It's the same thing.
at that
Just
now.
for longer than you think.
You must be a really good cook at home now. Because
Can we not say that?
This show?
My husband might be
Yeah,
watching.
Lewis.
He'll be chucking his slippers at the TV. He's saying, no, she still can't cook.
Yeah,
I'm slightly better.
Lou is really good cook at home now. Spinach, pecorino, ricotta, and then rather than making a tomato sauce, we're going to roast tomatoes with garlic and some thyme, with some olive oil and some vinegar, and that will be our sauce.
OK.
So first job for you, Nicola, you need to come around this side, is we tip all of the peppers into there, and we tip all of the spinach into there.
I love spinach.
Good for you.
Sorry, Nicola.
Full of iron. And then a little bit of salt and pepper.
This is something, I'm being serious now, and I don't know about you, Nicola, that I would cook at home. Genuinely.
It's a very
I'm not
you
even
dish.
making that up.
And then just click that on, and we puree this. OK, so this is going to be the filling for our cannelloni.
Lovely. Nice.
A lovely colour, so you get this lovely combination of the red and
Do you
the
need
green.
a big one of these to do this?
No, you can do it in a small one and do small batches.
Why are you laughing at me?
It just amused me.
Why?
You can do small. You could actually, if you want to, if you haven't got one of these, you could just finely chop the spinach and the pepper, and that will work as well. OK. So then what we do, we mix, so you can go back to your station now.
Station.
And then tip all of that into there and just give that a mix around. OK. So.
A quick tweet from Teen Girls Aloud. And what inspired you to write Cinderella Eyes?
Cinderella's Eyes is an album track that I wrote quite early on when I was making the record. And you know, it's a song. It's like a positive message song. It's about it's kind of like my take on like fairy tales and happy endings. And it's like I feel like a lot of people in the world now feel like they're owed things.
Yeah.
Rather than having to like really you have to work hard for stuff, and like that's how I felt when I was making the album, and it was like a journey, and it's kind of my take on happy endings and how you have to, you know, like work hard, and it's a good message, and I wanted to call the album it after I wrote the song.
And is that because you designed the shoes on the album as well, didn't you? So I suppose it all ties in.
There you go, there's shoes.
Was it? I mean, I would love to design shoes.
It was the most amazing thing, honestly. Some of the opportunities just from making a record has been incredible, and I worked with a designer called Atlanta Weller, and I told her it was. I told her that the album title was Cinderella's Eyes, and I wanted to create the modern-day glass slipper, and
brilliant.
And then we brought in Swarovski, and it was just a really, really amazing thing. And now I have my own shoe, which is amazing.
Do you ever wear them out? Sorry,
so the filling is done. Right, now, so that's one part of it. The next thing we do, Nicola, is just tip all of those tomatoes into there. I've sliced the garlic, and as I say, this is going to be our sauce. So rather than, let's say, making a tomato sauce, we're going to roast them, into the one with the garlic on, and then tip over all of the olive oil and the balsamic vinegar. And we're going to roast them so we get this lovely flavour. I've just got a little bit of thyme that we'll just do as.
Is this something you're interested in cooking? Or?
I do. Do you know what? When I have the time and I'm at home, I really like to kind of spend a few hours in the kitchen cooking. And
so what do you cook?
do you know what? I make such a good scouse.
Do you?
I make the best.
Everyone says that.
The best
Do
scouse.
you have a secret ingredient in yours?
And I'm kind of like, we grew up on a lot of like roast dinners and stews and stuff like that. And my boyfriend, being from London, did not grow up on that at all. So I'm like, let's have scouse every night of the week. And he's like, what is your obsession with potatoes? And
Did he get into it as well?
Yeah, I like cooking it for him.
So we roast off the tomatoes, they end up like that. So the smell of that is gorgeous. So now we've got all of the roasted garlic, we've got the roasted tomatoes in there.
So there was a lot of oil and
Loads.
You know, that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, because what we want is, remember, we're not having this in a sauce, so what we're doing is that moisture is going to be what will keep the pasta.
And how long did you have that in for?
Probably about 20 minutes or so, because the cherry tomatoes, that is, they roast quite quickly, and they're going to get cooked again. So even if you only roast about 5 minutes or so, then that's fine. Now, it's a little bit of pecorino goes in there as well. So we've got our sauce and we've got our filling. So what we do for the pasta, we'll just do a little bit of this, otherwise...
Smells absolutely amazing.
Now, the thing with this, what's important is that we get it all to hold together. So you need to make sure that you pack the dish that you cook it in really well. Now, if you don't have enough tubes of cannelloni to do it, then you don't want to leave it... Say, for example, if you only fill it to there, don't let it sit and cook it. Pack it with something like tin foil, so that it will keep it in place. Right. Otherwise, they'll just spread out like... Because you see how sloppy this mix is. And basically, all we do, Nicola, is a little bit of that down there, and then simply roll them up. I'll do one and you do the other two, like that. And then we pop them, just have a little bit of that, that's hot, oil on the base there. And the cut is on the bottom edge. So there you go, you do those two. As I say, what you do is you pack it full, you just keep it going.
And a really quick email from Ian Hartley. If you could collaborate with anybody, who would it be?
It would be Kanye West.
Oh, yeah.
I just think he's amazing. Like, I'm such a fan. I just think he's... Like, his beats and everything is, like, so full of imagination, and the production is incredible, and I'm a massive fan.
Yeah, he'd be a great collaboration.
What am I doing here?
Other way. So if you roll from the bottom and then roll it into a tube, then keep rolling it so that it's all held around. Now, our pasta is starting to dry a little bit. If that happens, you see ours will start to crack because it's dry. It's fine, because now we're going to put loads of moisture on top. It's got to go cut side down. Beautiful. Brilliant.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and then basically you fill this whole dish, and then all we do is we scoop on the top this, which will be our sauce. Okay, so you've got all this lovely flavour, and all the oil, everything goes on top. Back into the oven and bake it for about...
starving.
15 minutes. And so it looks very pretty when it comes out, rather than being like a big gloopy sauce. Look at that, it's lovely. So we get this lovely, delicious dish, and then to serve...
Gorgeous.
We simply scoop it out.
Right, OK, while Simon plates the cannelloni up, it's over to Jason and Tim.
Oh, was it?
So there you go,
1985 was that?
85.
I'm a year out.
1985.
I think we'll get a win.
Be
White Hot Lens.
careful.
And the great thing I discovered about Nicola, I always thought she was an Evertonian. I've discovered this morning she's not. She's a Liverpool fan. Yeah. Because everyone always thinks you're an Evertonian, don't they? Always.
My money's on Tottenham.
Nicola, Oliver Drake says, what are your thoughts on shows like The X Factor after you rose to fame on that talent show? What was your one called now? It's so long
Called
ago.
Pop Stars The Rivals.
It didn't have Simon Cowell in it, did it?
No, it had Jerry Halliwell, Pete Waterman and Louis Roche.
What do you think of these competitions now, Jen?
I think that it's a great opportunity for people to kind of showcase what they can do, and I think especially if you don't live in London, there aren't that many opportunities for people up north, and I think that if you have a talent, then and that's what you want to do, then go for it.
You know where I think Kyle mucks up, though? Because he gives you the record contract and everything like that. Surely he should be just giving you a cap. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the turnout if he bought you a cap?
I would love to see that at the end of X Factor. There's no record deal, it's a cap.
It's the Berlin Marathon, guys.